Well, they may be us. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the theory, and some of you have some theory and some of you don't. So it's actually pretty simple. Definition of a chord is one or more notes played simultaneously. This, in theory, is a chord. It's not a very pretty chord, but it is a chord. That's a chord. That one's even more horrible. Yeah, you get those. Yep. You get those semitones playing together and they're not very nice. The reason that they don't sound good is because their vibrations are too close to each other. If you separate it, then they sound nice. Okay? Wherever you start, you can count to 8. And 8 is your octave of where you start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You notice this has a dot and that has a dot. It's going to be the same note. It just repeats again. So a C, you just do the alphabet, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. We've already covered all that. I think everybody pretty much understands that. A general chord, your typical, what they call a triad, is the 1, the 3, and the 5 of any note. And that will give you a chord, what's called a triad. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That, if you have one that I prepared earlier, you can actually play them simultaneously. You'll notice that's a 1, a 3, and a 5. For this particular example, it's a C major chord. C, E, G gives me my C chord. If you have a C chord in a song, any of these 3 notes work. They make up the chord. If you have 3 players, you can make up a chord by I'll play the 1, you play the 3 if you wouldn't mind. You play the 5. We're making a chord together. That's kind of cool. Have I lost you, anybody at all?
No.
No? Okay.
Not yet.
Good.
What's the major part of that?
Okay.
What's C major?
The major part is determined by the third. Okay? If you have a minor chord, it has a flat third. If you have a major chord, it has a natural third. That's something you don't have to worry too much about with this particular marimba, because we have to play the third basically where it is, because we can only be in C. Only B and C.
You can play like A minor chords.
Yes. Okay, and that is, and that is the relative minor of C, which is the 6th. You don't have to get too much into that, but what that means is C, D, E, F, G, A. That is the 6th of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, that is the relative minor of C. So yes, the 6th is a minor. The 2nd and the 3rd are also variations of minor chords. And so there, and the 7th is a crazy diminished type of chord.
Yeah.
That is cool, but it's a weird kind of chord. It sounds strange, and it's used for bluesy or diminished kind of stuff. Right, and we play that on here too.
Yeah.
Okay? So if we look at this as a C instrument, which yours actually starts on, and we play the 1 chord, we've got 1, 3, 5. The 2 chord, that's a D minor. The 3 chord is an E minor. The 4 chord is an F. The 5 chord is a G. Then the 6 chord is that A minor. The 7 chord is this B diminished thing, because that's actually got a flat 5 in it. Hear how that 5 is a little different? It sounds different than that. That's kind of pretty. There's something a little disturbing about that 5. Yeah, okay, and that's when you start getting into those blues notes, okay? This is also, yeah, so anyway, but I just went through the entire scale and made chords out of it, okay? If you know how that works, then people can tell you, can you play an E minor chord? Or you can say, C, D, E, 1, 3, 5. There it is. There's my E minor chord. Okay. Can you play an A minor chord? Okay. There's my A minor chord. Can you play E minor, A minor? I think so. E minor and A minor are two very prevalent chords in the song that we're going to learn today.
Okay.
So go over the minor part again.
That you don't need to worry too much about, but a major chord, the third of it, is called a natural. Okay? They are evenly spaced on a piano. Okay? So I would have to explain probably a little more than you want to learn about how the piano works for you to understand. But the third determines whether a chord is major or minor. If a chord has a natural third in it, then it is a major chord.
So when you say third, you mean the third note.
The third note in that chord. So
And
for instance,
depending on what the third note is, it's a major or minor.
right.
Okay.
So if I wanted, this has a C, an E, and a G in it. If I wanted to turn this C chord into a C minor chord, I would need to flatten that third, which means I would need to play the black key on the piano that's between those two notes.
Got it.
I can't do it on this instrument.
Got it. Easy. Okay.
Yeah. So a minor chord has a flat third. There are minor chords on here. It's just that we don't have black keys, and they just occur naturally. They occur naturally on the second, the third, and the sixth. They're minor chords in the scale. It's just the way it works in our scale. So in other words, our D is a D.
Because our octave actually has 12 notes in it when you count the sharps and
Right,
flats.
if you play the sharps and flats.
Okay.
This instrument is what's called diatonic, which means it is one key. It can only play in one key. A piano is chromatic. It can play in any key.
Chromatic.
Chromatic, yeah.
And it is also
It's kind of traumatic, yeah.
Traumatic. With all the recitals that we sing.
Oh my God.
All the pain
So
that I went
it's
through
really
when I was a kid,
how
I can
many
tell you, it
of
was
those
traumatic.
1/12 semitones you have between the first
Right,
and that second note.
right.
And sometimes a natural will be the right distance, and sometimes it takes a flat or a sharp to get the right.
Exactly, and the way that a scale works is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. You learn that. It's the way that it works on a piano. A whole step means that you skip one of those black keys, or you take a whole step, two half steps if you like. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step is a major scale. And so it works the same with chords. And